Okay. Hi everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Franklin Orji, and I'm your host. I'm excited to welcome you to yet another insightful session. With me today is an alumni of Bincom. He's none other than Great. Mr. Great, you're welcome to this session.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. So guys, Mr. Great he's a project manager. He is also a developer. So basically, he's into the business side of tech, and he's also into the technical side of tech. So he's going to be sharing with us his experience and how he and his journey in this tech space. So guys, feel free to ask your questions, leave them in the chat box. I will try as much as possible to respond to your questions. Now, you might also want to leverage on this particular session. You might want to network and all of that. So feel free to do all of those things while we get into it. Now, basically what we're going to be looking at today is how to transition into tech and build a career in tech. So finally, I had to bring you up to I had to bring you to this session, Mr. Great. I'm very happy you joined us today. How are you doing?
I'm very fine, thank you. And you too?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay, very well. In so Mr. Great, let's get to it. Can you just introduce yourself? Let's get to know you and yeah.
Okay. My name is Unogwa Great, right? Unogwa Great Chukujindu. And like you said, I'm an alumni of Bincom ICT, where I actually functioned as project manager for Delta State Warri branch, right? So that was where the whole journey started. I think Bincom came to Delta State. That was 2017, and they started with us then, right? And one of the things they actually did was that they came through the platform of Social Lender, and by so doing, they brought about the initiative of fintech loans and the rest of it, and that was how the whole journey started, right? And it's been wonderful ever since. It's been wonderful ever since because one of the things about being Comden was that they helped to. Um, I wasn't really much into tech, right? I was just hearing about tech and everything, but Beacom actually had a way of actually making you to become part of the system, whether you liked it or not.
Mm,
You must just learn tech,
mm.
and
Okay,
I think
okay. Yeah, that's an interesting stuff. So I wouldn't want us to go into the whole Bincom story here right now, but I think it's quite interesting considering the fact that your own tech career started off with Bincom. So it's quite interesting. But before we get into the whole Bincom story, let's assume you didn't. Let's assume Bincom didn't come into the picture. Did you always know at some point that you were going to get into tech, even if it wasn't for Bincom, or even if you didn't see Bincom at the time? Have you always had this thing for tech?
actually for the aspect of tech, though. Um, Initially, I didn't really see myself getting into tech. I was more into the medical line, right? I
Mm,
was more into the medical line, so I didn't really see myself getting into tech. But in my university days, I had a roommate then that he would just be like, "Ah, great, learn this." So you see him learning JavaScript. Be like, "What is this? You are
mm,
just reading the boring material. What was it all about?" So at at that time, I wasn't really pay much attention to tech and the rest of it. But I just think there was something like that. So at some point in time, that my roommate will force me, okay, at least learn HTML. That's the simplest language you can just possibly learn. So he started at some point, but I wasn't looking at it like an area that I will fully venture into. I was just looking at it like maybe one of those aspects or one of those things I should just do for maybe at my leisure time or something. But at some point, the whole tech of it thing came and just like engulf the whole system in that sense. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. The fact that you're into a medical line or you're into the medical line and you're doing this whole tech thing. So I've had the privilege of bringing other alumni to this space, and I've never heard someone say anything about being into the medical line and coming to do this whole tech thing. I think yours is like the first. Excuse me. I think you're the first person. So that's I think it's even more interesting because I've had people say, okay, they did computer science, they were into engineering and all of that. None of them has ever mentioned something about medicine and all of that. So, um, what's the best part of getting into tech for you?
The best part of getting into tech, I think, is the fact that it's engaging, is 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 engaging. It's engaging. It looks as if that's not an interesting thing, but it's engaging. It requires your energy, it requires your time, and in so doing, it actually makes you to probably you try a particular tried writing a particular code, and at some point you are not getting any result and the rest of it. It just spawns you out to brainstorm and something. So that's why I use the word is engaging. It's engaging, it's intriguing, and it's interesting. For me, it's interesting because you tend to, how will I put it? You tend to have an interaction, and you are currently seeing the interaction that is taking place. Unlike in the case of maybe physics or chemistry or what have you, that oh, you are trying this, but this one, as you are applying it, right, you are seeing the results immediately. So it's engaging and it's intriguing. That's what I would say about tech. Yeah.
Okay, okay, perfect. Um, you transitioned from you're a project manager and you transitioned into becoming a developer. Yeah. Now, before we get to the whole part of you moving or you becoming a programmer, you said something about a friend always wanting you to read up stuff about JavaScript, HTML, and all of that. Did How did you then go into the business side of tech, becoming a project manager? Because I know project management has nothing to do with HTML or even writing codes and all of that. So, what how did you just move into being a project manager first before doing this whole programming stuff?
Okay, thank you for that. Actually, that was where Beacom came into line, right? Now, what Beacom did for us then was that they gave us a platform to learn courses. I think between 7 to 8 a.m., we call it self-development. So what they
Mm,
do is that they engage us with courses some courses from some other places, and we had to study those courses, we had to apply those courses and everything. And I noticed that because of it, if you were able to complete your tasks on that particular course, you still had the leverage of studying other courses that we already paid for, right?
mm,
So I
yeah.
just made I just utilized the opportunity. I was like, okay, if I can complete this task between so time, probably I can learn a little bit of tech. So in that sense, I was learning my project management and learning tech at the same time. And being the kind of person that I am, the tech started becoming very interesting. And not as if I left the project management or dumped it, no, but I think at some point in time, I was now um, utilizing most of my time just with tech and project management. But at some point, I started giving more attention to tech, but not still neglecting project management. So I was just like um, dabbling between the two. Yeah,
Mm.
dabbling between the two. But it was actually based on the platform that was given to us, right? That made that available. So that was the platform I just utilized in my development.
So by saying tech, you mean the technical part of it, that is the programming, or it's interesting, yeah, because when you say when you tell people about the whole tech thing, the whole tech skills, their mind tends to go to um, numbers, programming, writing codes. So there is this whole different parts, project management, product management. There is this whole business part of tech that one can actually venture into. Yeah, business analysis and all of that. Um, so it's quite interesting the fact that you started off with project management, leveraging on what Bincom gave you at the time, and you had to improve into the technical side of it, programming and all of that. Yeah. Let's moving on. I've when I spoke to some persons, when I brought them to the session, they have one thing in common, if not all of them. They have a particular thing in common. Now you might wonder what that is. I think um, none of them actually spoke about their tech journey or their career without saying or without mentioning any challenge that they faced at the time. Yeah. So everybody I've brought to this place or I've brought to this session always said something about facing a particular challenge at the time when they were starting off. So what challenges did you face while you were trying to build up your whole career in tech?
Thank you very much. Nobody's going to say he started the tech journey without having one challenge at some point. Even up
Yeah.
to now, right? At some point, challenges are still bound to come. For example, maybe you are trying to write a particular code and probably you miss some of the things. You try it and you're like, this thing is not still playing. And you get frustrated and everything. I've spent several times and all these things, and I'm not still getting results in that line. So it happens that way too. So most times, when there are challenges like that, sometimes, in short, there's a point you have this writer's block and you are trying to write codes and it's as if your head is frozen or something. So most times what I just do is that I just take a chill, right? And at some point
Yeah.
in time, Bincom gave the privilege of asking questions too, right? Asking questions, and you could actually communicate with those that have actually gone ahead in that place, in that line, and they always did well to communicate. So I think one of the ways I overcame challenges was the fact that I made use of human resources, right? Apart from checking maybe the net to know what's up and everything, I still made use of the fact that, okay, some people that actually had gone ahead of me, I will ask them, okay, what's up with this? What's up with this? What's up with this? What's up with that? So that was actually how. But challenges came, and challenges definitely still come. That's tech for you, but definitely there's always a way to go around it. Yeah.
Mm. So what would you say about persons who are limited to financial, let's say, who are limited to some tech skills or some tech skills as a result of finance? Or um, what would you even say about persons who are limited to a particular tech skill because they do not have resources like laptop or even a laptop basically to start up something? Because I know programming, while you're trying to program, you need a good laptop, yeah, and all of that. So what would you say about that? Some persons have it as a serious challenge to that is like a big hindrance as to why they've not even started their tech journey in the first place.
What I would say about that is that, okay, at some point, like I said earlier on, challenges are bound to come, and when it has to do with tech or something that is going to make your life better, right? One of the things is
Mm-hmm.
that you must be resilient in that. You must be very resilient, right? You must be resilient, and based on that, I think one of the things that can help is that making use of every opportunity you have, right? Making use of every opportunity
Yeah.
you have. Now, I think I've even seen some of Bincom's platforms whereby there are some discount prices, and you see, oh, learn this, they put 10,000, sometimes they put 20,000, and be like, this course that if I'm going to pay outside, I'm going to pay 100 and something K and the rest of it, right? I think sometimes they do all those platforms too. And I think it's just making use of one thing that will help is not just sitting in one place. At least try making an effort to move and making use of every opportunity that comes. Okay, probably you don't have a laptop, but probably you have a friend that has a laptop, right? You could go and meet your friend, just tell him, okay, I'm going to use this laptop or borrow the laptop for just an hour or so. One of the things with tech is consistency. That's it. You might start small, but you are not
Yeah.
definitely going to end small. So one of the things is consistency. Like I said, making available use of all resources. You might not presently have a laptop, but that should not restrict you from learning tech, right? Probably you have a smartphone. You could start from there, right? You could start from
Mm.
a smartphone, and from there, when you can get a laptop, you transition into that place. Not just like staying idle and say, "Oh, till I get a laptop, I'm not going to start tech," and the rest of it. You get so. That's my advice
Yeah.
for.
Nice, nice, nice. I think that answers the whole question, or that solves the whole problem of I don't have a laptop. I don't, because I feel like it comes down, or it boils down to the fact that to a particular question, how much more do you want it? How much do you want it? How hungry are you to learn a skill? So you don't allow the fact that you don't have a nice laptop to hinder you from getting knowledge and building expertise in a particular area in tech. So that's very nice. I appreciate that. Let's talk about Bincom story. So you started off saying nice stuff about Bincom, how Bincom helped you, but I picked out a particular thing that revolves around saying you have to leverage on what you were given at the time. You have to make use of your time while at Bincom. So how did you find out about Bincom? Did somebody recommend Bincom to you, or you were just going through stuff and you saw Bincom?
Okay, I think for Bincom actually, what happened was that I just came back from NYC that time, and I think I spent like a year home after NYC, and Bincom just they were doing their publicity, right? Luckily enough, they were just coming to my state then, and that was the first
Mm,
time. So they came with this aspect of okay, job, right? You know, after NYC, everybody's looking for a job and the rest of it.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
went to apply like I needed a job definitely, and the rest of it, right? So it was when I entered the system, right, that I became conversant with the fact that oh wow, this is even bigger than what we saw. This was bigger than what we thought, right?
Yeah.
There's also a tech aspect to it too. So that's how I was introduced to being console. It was something I just stumbled upon. I'll put it that way.
Okay. Social lender, I think you mentioned something about the social lender. So you had to leverage on the whole project. It's actually a project that is still very much running to date. I think so, yeah. So you had to leverage on it, and now we're here. Um, so I know each company or each organization is structured in a way to let it, or to allow its workers to, or each person in the organization to learn. I know each company is structured in a certain way. How would you say Becom is structured that, in a sense, that it helps you grow?
So what I would say about Beamcom is like it's more like an organization whereby you work, you
Yeah,
learn, and you earn, right? I'm gonna put it in those
nice.
three places. You work, you learn, and you earn. So in that sense, yeah, there are some daily tasks that are given, right? Of which at the end of the month or so you'll be rewarded for it. But in the course of it, there are also some platforms for you to learn. Like I was saying earlier on, I think from 7 to 8 is SD, self development. I think from about 8 to 9, you have KD sessions. Um,
Mm,
from 9 to 10, um, stand-up meetings and all those things. So they structure it in such a way that you are busy, but you are learning,
Yeah,
right? You are busy, but you are learning. So is definitely, if you want something, you don't have to be lazy about it, right? You don't have to be lazy
yeah,
about it. So it positions your mind in such a way that, okay, at this point in time, you're actually working for something and you are learning in the course of it. And I think the learning process is way much more. If you are a learner, you will actually learn a lot from the income. That's what I would say. If you're a learner, you will learn a lot. You will learn a lot. That's what I would say
yeah.
as
So
regards.
nice, nice, nice stuff there. So, how would you say Become community has helped you, like the whole community in general, that has helped you in achieving quite a lot in this space?
Okay, so like I would say, my tech journey informally started a little bit with my friend, but formally and on the right platform started with Bingo, right? And now that tech is all over and the rest of it, you are hearing AI here, you are hearing of this, but actually,
Mhm.
these were some dreams and some things that Bingo had already like foresaw, right? They've seen all these things
Yeah,
before, and they've actually made reference to all these things back then, right? So I would say my tech journey actually started fully with Bincom, and for the aspect of the special development, the KD sessions, and everything, they actually Bincom made us put us in a position that we could learn, we could ask questions, right? We could see what we could do. They created platforms for programs, for innovations, right? That
yeah,
actually, at some point in time, there were some tasks, some challenges, some games that, okay, if you get this thing, there's this prize attached to it. So all these things actually put us in a platform to want to know more, to want to explore more, and to want to learn more. So I would say I owe the beginning of my tech journey to be anytime, any day. I would say that. Right.
yeah. That's nice. What was your KD session like? I know you did KD session. You had to present some topics in KD. What was it like for you? Was it something you were eager to do every time? Were you, or was it like, why do I even have to do this in the first place? What was it like for you?
Okay. I'm going to be very factual about this. First of all, I was lazy initially, right? So my first coding session was whack, right? And I remember Mr. Bade then say, you could have done this, 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 and you could have done it like this, yeah. And I think one of the things he did, one of the things I actually learned from him is this aspect of positive criticism, right? So he actually
Okay.
pointed out areas that, oh, at this point you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this. And what that what that awareness brought about is the aspect of excellence. So when next you are preparing
Yeah,
for KD session, right? Something you do your research very well on. It's not something you just wake up and say, "Oh, I'm going to do KD session." It's not something you rush and do. You take note of when you are going
yeah,
to do it and you just plan effectively for it, because you know that at the end of the day, it's excellence that is expected, right? It's excellence,
yeah,
and for you to go in the path of excellence, definitely some extra effort needs to be paid in that regard. So yeah. So the KD sessions became better as the time grew by, right? It was from one
yeah,
level. And the things about all these KD sessions and the rest of it is that even outside the tech platform, right, it gives you this um, opportunity, like probably you are called for a presentation in another setting, right? Based on your
hmm,
KD experience, based on all those slides you were preparing and the rest of it, it makes you to be prepared. And when
exposure.
you are speaking to a crowd of people, there is no this alter of fear because it's something you've experienced before, it's something you've done before, it's something that oh, at some point you were criticized before, but corrected after criticism and the rest of it. Yeah. So
Mm. Yeah, yeah. That you can't even overemphasize on that, because I think what KD does, it gives you that platform to talk people, to put yourself out there, and let people learn from you. So Bincom, I think, yeah, when you say they gave you that opportunity and that platform to show yourself, that's like basically saying they were exposing you they were exposing you as a techie as well. Yeah. So over the years, you've I believe you've had different tech communities that you had to, or you were opportune to be part of. Now there is this whole tech community around Bincom. What's the comparison, if you are asked to compare, what would you say about it? This whole Bincom community and some other communities out there that you've seen.
okay. Um, what I would say about being community tech community is the fact that I think one of the things that I've seen that is dominant there is the aspect of wanting everyone to grow, right? Wanting everyone to
Yeah.
grow. Probably in some other tech communities, maybe it might be more of the scale of competition, right? But I
Mm.
think for the aspect of being there are some points whereby they don't really want anybody to be left out, right? They want this togetherness in the aspect of growth and development. So I think that is one striking thing I would just say between that I've noticed between the income tech community and other tech communities outside. Yeah.
Okay. So we're gradually coming to the end. I have like few questions to ask though. We're gradually coming to the end of this session. So I will quickly go and check if we have any question from the audience, something that I would like to that they would like to know. Yeah. So I think you just give me a minute or so. Okay. Sorry for that. So in the absence of any question, yeah, in the absence of any question, a quick one. How did you transition? Okay, okay. Let me take that again. If you were asked, or if you're asked between being a project manager and and a developer, which one would you go for anytime and any day? And why? And why? The why is very important.
That's a tricky question too. But I'll put it this way. I'll put it this way. I think for me, although based on my personality and rest of it,
Yeah.
I I might tend towards the tech aspects, right? That does not negate the fact that the attributes of a project manager are not still there, right? But I think I love obviously in the project management aspect, there's the aspect of um, there's the aspect of thinking, there's the aspect of brainstorming, and the rest of it. But I just I like being where the action is. That's my personality.
Okay.
So if I actually want to be where the action is, I think I'll be more into tech than the aspect of project management. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Although I
Yeah.
love both aspects, I encourage people to enter into any area they feel like entering. But for me personally, I think I'm more into the aspect of tech. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, that boils down to what you're passionate about and where your passion lies. Okay. Nice one. Nice one there. So one last question. No. we still I have like two extra questions. But yeah, what's your recommendation for persons who want to start up their tech career, who want to begin their journey in this tech space? What do you recommend they do?
Okay. I think one of the things about tech is that you is cooler if you go from simple to complex, right?
Mm,
Simple to
yeah,
complex. I wouldn't just ask somebody to just maybe you don't have any knowledge of tech or anything and you just go and say, oh, I want to be a full stack, I want to do this, I want to do that. I think when it comes to tech, right, I think it's one step at a time. And don't be too hard on yourself too, right? Don't be too hard on yourself, right? It's all right to go baby steps when it has to do with tech, right? It's all right to go baby steps, but you will definitely with time not remain in baby steps. And one of the things about tech is the aspect of consistency, right? That
yeah,
level of consistency is very, very important. You see somebody that has not done programming for maybe months or years and he wants to go back into it, at some point it just looks as if maybe it's a novice or something, right? So that aspect
mm,
of consistency, irrespective, just make sure you are consistent with what you are doing. If maybe you are just starting with, you want to start with the front end development or wherever you are starting from, just make sure that that element of consistency is there. I think that's the major factor, irrespective of where you want to go. Just make sure that element of consistency is there, being diligent at what you are doing. I think that's the best advice I could give anybody as regards tech. Yeah.
yeah. Mm, thank you for that. So let me pick that out. Um, consistency and um, consistency, yeah, and passion for what you're doing. Baby steps, starting off from number zero to number one, two, three, four. Baby steps, then you going up the ranks at the time. Yeah, so that's interesting. That's nice. Thank you very much for that wonderful advice. And so, last question here. Are you open for mentorship at the time?
If that platform is created, there's not an. I think that was if that platform is created, there's no issue with that.
Okay, a quick one. Since you're okay with the whole mentorship stuff, can you drop or can you leave your LinkedIn handle or your social media handle or whatever so we can reach out or persons who are interested can also reach out. You can leave that in the chat, the comment section. Yeah, so they can quickly follow through. Yeah, it's been it's been a wonderful session with you, Mr. Great. I never had any doubts in my mind that it would be a wonderful and insightful session with you. Like I said before the beginning of the session, I was very excited to bring you to this session, and I'm happy you came through. Yeah. So we've learned quite a lot, couple of things from you, and we want to implement these things. I am very, very grateful. Thank
Thank
you
you
very
very much.
much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Appreciate it. Thank you
yeah,
for the
yeah,
opportunity. Yeah.
yeah. You're welcome. Okay. This is where we draw the curtain and see you some other time. Stay safe, yeah.